Takes longer than others sometimes.
Mm,
But yeah, we've been going for like 30 seconds now.
we're live. There it
All
is.
right, great.
Yay, we did it.
This delay in start is brought to you by John's water main breaking.
Yeah, so John's not here, as you can plainly see.
Yeah,
Um,
he's out fixing a flood in his apartment building, I guess. It's not his place, I don't think. I think it's just the building, and he's being a good Samaritan.
for once, there's a problem, and it's not with him directly. Like his
Yeah,
stuff, that's amazing.
that's true. That's true.
He's moving up.
There you go. But yeah, just two people. We switched Paul for John this week.
Yep.
Um,
Hi.
hey, hey everybody. I'm Sean. Paul's the other guy.
Yeah, hi.
We didn't do a lead-in topic again.
Yeah.
Mad Max comes out soon. You excited?
Yeah, that comes out tomorrow, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of when I'm going to actually be able to go see it now.
Summer movie season.
Maybe Sunday. Yeah, no, I am stoked. I hear that it's pretty good from people. So, who knows? Movie critics.
Right. Yeah. No, I've been hearing some good stuff. I also want to go see Ex Machina, which is getting really good reviews.
Mm.
Um, so I got movies to see. It's summertime. We gotta go see a lot of movies.
I know a dude who saw Ex Machina. I'm trying to, like, I talked directly with him. Oh, it's the guy I do the other podcast with now that Nathan decided he hates the internet. Yeah, he
True.
saw Ex Machina. I can't remember
Did
if he
you like
liked it.
it? Oh, last I checked, it was at like a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
So,
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
yep. Yep. Also, I'm almost finished Daredevil.
Really? Oh, I gotta catch up on it
I
again.
got 2 episodes left.
Does it get really good? Like,
I want
crazy?
to say my favorite moments were in the beginning, actually.
Hmm.
But
Okay.
it's like I wouldn't say anything part is bad. But my favorite moments are probably at the beginning. There's
Okay.
How far are you? What episode did you get to?
Like 3.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
there's some cool stuff coming. There's a ninja fight, which is pretty like badass and gnarly. There's some actually in terms of like gnarly stuff. There was times where I was like, I have to close my eyes because this is disgusting. I can't watch this. This is so gruesome.
Okay.
Um, but
Wow.
yeah. Anyways, top down perspective. May 14th.
Hmm.
This is a video game podcast where we're going to talk about video games, specifically Paul's games we've been playing.
Oh, shit. I wasn't expecting that. So, I started playing Sins of a Dark Age, a new MOBA that came out recently. It was in early access for a while, but it quote unquote released or whatever. Free to play thing. The thing I like about it that made me want to try it out is that they're going the Valve way of doing this, where all the heroes are free and all the skins and stuff you can get for free if you play enough. So they're gonna lose probably a lot of money. They went the money sink way, where for Valve it doesn't matter because with Dota 2, they're a big company. They can afford a little bit of like a couple $1 million or whatever to make sure their PR is good or whatever for doing it. This company is the company that did Sins of Solar Empire, and yeah, man, I don't know. I actually talked to the dev, so I was streaming the game, and the dev was just watching me stream it apparently. And then
That's
I was
cool.
just like, well, we have like some extra slots. You want to jump in? I didn't know who he was. He's like, yeah, sure. Then we invite him into game. It's like, oh shit, he has like the developer tag and stuff. So we started talking to him. I basically said, like, you guys are probably going to lose a bunch of money on this. Like, what was the end game for this? Like, with this
Whoa,
free
shots
to
fired.
well, with this free to play model, like, it's kind of like it's great for people that like the game and stuff, but how are you going to make money on it or monetize it? And his answer was basically like, we made a bunch of money doing Sins of a Solar Empire, and we got sick of sci-fi, and this is just a love project that we wanted to do, so we don't really care if we lose a bunch of money doing it. So I was
Okay.
just like, that made me like your game way more, because I kind of didn't like that game when I started playing it at all. And the reason is because what makes this one a bit different, they add in some RPG elements into the MOBA and like some quests and stuff you can do while MOBA-ing. And while that's all fine and dandy and kind of adds a cute little spin to it, it's not explained very well what you should be doing, and it feels so much different than another MOBA that, like, people that have played a lot of League or Dota or Heroes of the Storm or whatever, it changes up the flow of the gameplay where you, like, have to decide if you're going to stop doing battles and stuff and then go do this escort quest or go, like, collect a bunch of meat to feed a griffin and all this stuff. And it's not explained well enough, in my opinion, at first. But after playing with him in the party and being able to ask him every single question we wanted, I really, really got into it. Like, I really like a lot of stuff they're doing. But the barrier of entry is so big on it.
Okay.
I wouldn't. It's not something I could even recommend. If it's your first MOBA ever, maybe, because you'll have the time to invest in it. But I don't know. Like, it's a lot to ask for people that spend a lot of time in League or Dota or whatever. Heroes of the Storm is kind of the casual MOBA, and, like, you can still spend a lot of time in that with its replayability and the fun, like, arcadey feel it has. Whereas this is very long games and can be quite tough to know what you're doing in with very little hand-holding. So it's not one I would recommend for just anybody to start off with. And even seasoned MOBA players, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a little rough, but I had fun with that. That was a good time. And
What's the name of this again?
Sins of a Dark Age. It's a free-to-play, so anybody can go play it. They can
Right.
get all the characters right away. Nothing's held back in that regard. The Twitch integration for it is really nice because they do this cool thing where people that have their Steam account hooked up with Twitch, you're able to give them prizes in your chat randomly, but not like prizes that you have in your inventory. They'll get a prize randomly for just watching you, like you can do giveaways. And they kind of do these cool community things to try to build up a good community for their game. And all that stuff's really cool. But I don't know. I'm a little disappointed because they do some really cool stuff, but it's such a competitive market. They're like, it's just going to get slaughtered and it's not going to get the attention it deserves, I don't think. But
Okay.
that's kind of life with the game industry now. So
Right. Sure. For sure.
So after playing that, I went back to Heroes of the Storm for a bit because it's the game a bunch of friends of mine are playing. So I always
all about the MOBAs.
I do like MOBAs quite a bit. But it's a game everybody I know is playing that I can jump into a game with at any time. It's all my favorite heroes from, like, when I was growing up, and villains and all that sort of stuff. They started adding new stuff into it too. Kael'thas came out this week, so he's a fire mage. And for anybody who's in the know, he plays a lot like Jaina, only instead of, like, crit burst damage, he does more sustained damage over time, but he can still nuke pretty hard.
I have literally no idea what you just said.
That's totally fine. He's really fun. More stuff is coming out for that game. It is the Blizzard polish that makes that game playable and fun. And yeah, that's what that game is. Other than that,
Are you still playing Hearthstone on your phone?
No, I'm really close to uninstalling it because when I play Hearthstone on my phone, I have to kind of resign myself to the fact that, I'm going to play this for an hour and lose all my battery, and I'm going to have this on my phone and lose all my space.
Yeah, the space is what caused me to have to take it out because it kept growing. I don't know what it was doing, but it kept growing. Like, just having more decks take up more space or something. Like,
I don't know.
I don't know, but it kept taking up more and more space. It started out at like 0.8 gigs. Then it got to like 1.1 and I was just like, stop. I don't know what you're doing.
Okay, I thought I was going crazy because I felt like it was growing too. I keep deleting other games and it still says I have no space when I want to try a new app. So I think it is growing. It's festering in my phone.
Well, I know apps can get larger because it'll start caching stuff and downloading stuff, but I didn't know what it was doing for Hearthstone, but I was just like, I'm sorry, I can't. If I ever get a new phone, I will download you immediately, but I can't do this.
Yeah. I think I'm going to uninstall it. It's just not the funnest way for me to play, because if I really want to play, I'll just play on my PC anyways. I don't have time when I'm on the go to battle somebody for like a good solid 15 minutes if it's a long game or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Um, I started playing a game the other day, and then I was playing a little bit today.
Oh, actually, sorry, quick side note. Wayward
Yes.
in the chat says dedicated Hearthstone phone. I do have an iPod Touch somewhere around here. That could just be like a Hearthstone device.
Do you think it would run in an iPhone 3? Because I have one of those from like years ago.
I doubt it. And now that I'm thinking about my iPod Touch, because I have like, I don't even know which version of the iPod Touch I have, but it's an old one. So I don't even know if it could run on that either.
I do have a tablet I could just play it on if I really wanted to.
There you go. I mean, I have my iPad, but I don't carry my iPad with me everywhere. And it
Yeah.
needs to be connected to the internet all the time.
hmm
So if I wanted to, which I guess I was only playing Hearthstone like at home or at work. So it does have a Wi-Fi connection, but even if I did want to go outside, I couldn't use my iPad.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I play the Wi-Fi at my work's not very good because of the building we're in. So
Oh,
that's I can watch videos on it, but even then it's spotty. So I don't think I would play a real match there.
okay. Anyway, you were saying.
Yeah. This weird game called Torin that came out, Toren. It's
No idea.
it feels like what's that Two Brothers? You know that Two Brothers game?
There's brothers and there's two brothers. Those are both names of video games.
Right, Two Brothers is the Game Boy one, right?
The one that looks like a Game
Like
Boy.
a Game Boy game? Okay.
Yeah.
Brothers is the one I'm thinking of. So think
The one that everyone loved. Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons.
Tale of Two Sons, that's right. Think about like how that game like the charisma that game has, kind of like a cutesy but not really so much vibe to it.
Okay.
That's kind of like how this game feels, but if Team Eco decided to do a game again, and it's kind of good in a lot of ways, but the controls are a little bit clunky, and I'm not really feeling it, and I'm not sure why. So it starts off with, like, you're a female protagonist. You start off, like, as a baby that tries to pick up a sword or whatever, and you're growing up and, like, learning how to move around and
Wait,
stuff.
why is a baby doing anything with a sword?
You know, I'm sure there's going to be an explanation for all this stuff, but it's one of those things where there's not a whole lot of talking. There's no voiceover or narrator. All the talking is done in, like, echoey sort of thing with, like, text appearing on the bottom.
Sure.
So
okay.
it feels very much like a Team Eco game. Like, a lot, which is kind of great, but there's something about it. I'm not exactly sure what, because I haven't played enough of it yet, that isn't grasping me, and
Okay.
it's
what
bugging me.
what genre is this?
It is like a it's almost like a Legend of Zelda, like a 3D Legend of Zelda almost, but it's not
Okay.
going to be that grand.
So like an action game?
Yeah, it's an action game.
Okay, so you're like fighting enemies and whatnot.
Yeah,
Okay.
and like platforming and stuff. I don't know. It feels a little bit weird, but I'm going to try more of it, and I hope I like it as much as I think I could.
This is on Steam?
It is on Steam. It's quite
Okay.
cheap, too. I think it was only like $15.
Okay.
So I'm not losing a whole lot out of it. But more importantly, I started playing
More importantly.
I started playing Axiom Verge today
Yes.
because that came out on Steam, and
Yes.
that game is Metroid. Like, but
So excited.
I mean, it's about time that we had a Metroid game with a male protagonist. Am I right, guys?
God damn it.
No, but seriously, it feels like a fucking Metroid game, and it's really nice. The art style is beautiful. The music is great. It plays so well. Oh my god, I just want to play more so I can talk more in depth about what's going on.
Better, Axiom Verge or Ori?
Ori is a good modernization of the Metroidvania gameplay style. This is more like Super Metroid, like grassroots.
Well, what do you like
Campaign.
more? What do you enjoy? What do you prefer?
I think I liked the pacing in Ori more than a lot of Metroidvania games, including Super Metroid.
Okay, so far this is not as good as, or you're not enjoying it as much as you did Ori.
I really got wrapped up in Ori, so I would say I'm probably not enjoying it as much as Ori, but I'm probably no. I would say I'm enjoying it as much as Ori, but like in a different way because the style. It's
What a
something
cop
about
out.
it's
What a cop out answer.
it's something about Ori. It's not even really the.
It's a tie.
This feels more like the old style Metroid games, which are great. But Ori was kind of its own beast in the way it actually moved around, and like every time you got a power up, it increased like your movement around the levels, not just opening doors and getting into secret passages or stuff, if that makes any sense. Like you felt more powerful by being able to traverse the world better, whereas this feels very much like you get the power up so you can break the bricks now, or you get the power up so you can get these doors open. So it's a different style completely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to play it. Like, once we're done here, I'm going to start downloading it. So,
Yeah. Yeah, the biggest flaw with it so far is that I only got to play half an hour of it before we had to do this. So,
sure.
yeah.
Is that game on Vita?
I
Because it's
don't
on
know.
PS4, right? Like, that's where it first came out, was PS4?
Yes, it came out on
And
PS4.
usually, like, almost anything nowadays that's only downloadable comes out on, like, all three Sony platforms. I'm just wondering, because that would probably be a good game to like take on my trip with me. And I'm in the process right now of deciding like, am I taking my Vita? Am I taking my 3DS? Like,
You're probably
which one
taking
am I?
both.
I'm not taking both. There's no way I'm taking both.
Then get those European street passes to
That's
unlock
what I
the
was thinking.
regions on your map.
I was like, at the moment, I don't have any like 3DS games I really want to play, and I have a ton of like backlogged PlayStation Plus games I could go through with the Vita. But if I bring the 3DS, I can get all those street passes. And you know what I love doing when I'm traveling with my 3DS is I love getting the new locations on
Yeah,
the map.
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Those are so awesome. Because like when I was in Japan, I was getting all these new areas, and I was like, this is sweet. And it's a whole.
Dude, I'm
I guess I
planning a
get,
trip
like-
to Japan, and I'm so excited for just.
Are you?
Yeah.
When's that?
I'm trying to do it before the end of the year, so probably fall.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
TGS? You can go to TGS?
You know what? I mean, no, that was never part of the
Okay.
plan, but
Okay.
I'm going to apply for credentials with Top Down, and if I
Go
get them, I will
You're going
do
early
it.
September. Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
that would be pretty cool. And tiring, I hear.
What is? Oh, yeah, probably like most conventions.
Yeah, good
Oh,
point.
that's cool. Japan's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you planned anything yet, or you just decided Japan?
No, I found hotels and I found flights and stuff. I just need to confirm if the dates are going to be okay and all that sort of stuff and talk to work and
Cool.
blah, blah, blah.
I should send you a bunch of the info I have because
Okay.
I don't know if you're like strictly doing hotels, but I did a lot of not motels, hostels.
Yeah.
And there's this one hostel in just outside of Kyoto that we stayed at, which is the nicest hostel I've ever been to.
Have you been to a lot of hostels?
Yeah, because
Oh.
when I go traveling, it's like exclusively hostels because
Oh,
they're the
okay.
cheapest.
Mhm.
So, yeah, that's cool. I'll give you a bunch of recommendations.
Yeah.
What places are you going to? What cities?
Like, obviously Tokyo.
Right.
I already talked to Lucas Pope, actually, to have a drink. So that'll
That's
be
cool.
weird.
For those who don't remember, Lucas Pope, developer of Papers, Please.
Yeah. Which I think you were with me. We did the Indie Talks
We did.
episode with
Yes.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's his new game coming? What's that one called again?
Oh my
Something
god.
about something about the ship, right?
Yeah, it's the ship, but I can't remember the name of the ship.
It has like a long title or something like that. Anyway, okay, so you're going to Tokyo. Obviously, that's a few days right there. Tokyo is huge, but really cool. So obviously, you're gonna hit up Akihabara.
Mhm.
That place is real cool. Go at nighttime when it's all lit up and neon. Where else? What other cities you headed to?
Well, I mean, the idea was basically to either fly into Osaka or Tokyo, and basically every day or 2 days take the train to a new location and spend a day or two there.
Osaka, another cool one. One that I didn't end up doing enough of when we were first looking at it. I was like, Osaka doesn't really seem to have much of what I'm interested in. And then when I was in Kyoto, I was reading up on like, oh hey, you like Akihabara? The next best place is in Osaka, and I was like, oh crap! Good thing Osaka's an hour away from Kyoto. Took a train there, went to Dendan Town, boom, which is like
Boom.
Osaka's version of Akihabara. So yeah, definitely do that.
Yeah.
You gonna do Mount Fuji?
Like possibly. I do want to see some more rural areas, like not the big cities and all that stuff. So I have
Fuji
to
would be cool.
I do have to look up more guides on like what are some old school looking places you can go to and all that.
You need to make sure you get the rail pass outside of Japan. I don't remember what the reason was, but you like weren't able to get a rail pass when you were in there. So
Really?
start looking up that stuff. Yeah, I remember when my mom was, because I went with my family, my mom was looking it up. She had to buy our train, like main pass we used for like the big trains between cities outside of the country. So look that up.
I also heard
Uh,
that like a lot of places in Japan, like I talked to Lucas Pope about Japan because he lives there, so
right.
for some advice, and he's like, bring like a lot of yen to just have on hand because credit card places aren't like huge here. Like there's not a lot of places that just accept credit card all the time, which
Yeah,
I
I'm
found weird.
not quite sure. Like whenever I go traveling, I always make sure I have cash.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
so I was definitely using cash for the majority of it. I know there was a few times where our cards got stopped because even though we had told our banks like we're traveling, like they still flagged it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had weird things where it was like, because like in Canada, when you if your credit card has like the Cirrus logo,
Mm-hmm.
you can do it in other countries, right? So
Yes.
we had those, but the ATMs were still not reading some of our cards,
Hmm.
which was odd. Like I remember at one point, my mom's card, she couldn't withdraw cash with it. I'm same bank, put my card in, they let me withdraw cash. So there was some weird stuff, but anyway, it wasn't a huge concern.
Yeah.
Um, People are also saying visit Pokemon centers. I never did that, which was a bummer. I didn't see them, but yeah, definitely look out Pokemon Center. The one thing that I heard about when I came back that I'm kicking myself that I didn't know about beforehand was that robot restaurant thing.
Oh,
Have you heard of this?
I have heard of it. Yeah.
You have to go and take some photos.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing is that like when I eventually do go, I'll probably just create like a Twitter or Tumblr and just update it every 10 minutes with something like weird from
Yeah, no,
Japan.
for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. Definitely do that. Or like an Instagram or something. That's what I was doing. Like every night I was uploading everything to like Dropbox and I had some friends with my login and they were just checking my stuff each day.
Mm, that's
Um,
cool.
and then you also get like, well, the thing I like about the Instagram one is you get like a photo map of where all your photos are from, which is cool.
Mm,
Um,
yeah, that's
I
a
know
good point.
there's privacy issues there, but just looking back, it's like, oh yeah, and I was right here for this. And anyway, that's I'm excited for you. I want to go back to Japan one day for sure.
We should go. Let's go.
I'm going to Europe in a few weeks. I'm not going to Japan a few months later.
Yeah. Also, his game name was Return of the Obra Dinn.
Return of the Oberdin, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
I had to look it up. I forgot the name
Okay.
of his ship.
Cool. Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Um, I guess. Okay. Sorry, I just have all these questions about Japan. Are you planning to pick up any Japanese games slash
Oh,
game consoles?
oh fuck yeah. I'm actually
Yeah.
I really haven't
What's
talked
like?
to you about it, but I've been learning Japanese for the last couple months.
Oh, way to go.
Or trying to, because I'm still trying to learn how to read it before I can speak it.
Sure. I didn't need to know anything.
No, that's what I hear, which is great.
Yeah.
But
Didn't need to know anything.
I remember
Like all
when
the
I was
restaurants,
saying
they have pictures everywhere, so you just point to everything as well.
remember when I was saying I really wanted to play Police Knots and I was going to learn Japanese? That was actually the impetus to actually start learning it. So,
Okay. Okay.
and one day I will play Police Knots and talk about it on this podcast.
But so do you have like a list already of like I know I need to pick up these things?
No,
Okay.
it's all going to just be surprises, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, go find a super potato, go there, buy some weird stuff. Buy a Wonder Swan. Wonder Swans are weird.
Mhm.
Both John and I have Wonder Swans. Anyway, that's exciting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I don't even remember where we
That's
were
all
before
I
this.
played.
That's all you've played. Okay.
Yes.
What have I been playing? I finished up Monster Bag. That was a game I talked about last week
Yeah.
that I won't talk about it too much again this week just because you should listen to last week's show. But that game is super weird. And I still don't know the genre of what that game is.
Okay.
And I want to tell you, Paul, more because I know you missed last week's, but I know you're planning to listen to last week's. So
I will
just listen
listen.
to my description of Monster Bag because that game's really weird.
Okay.
And I liked it. I enjoyed my time with Monster Bag.
Would it be a better way to just maybe play a little bit of Monster Bag before listening to you describe it?
I think you should listen. Well, Monster, it's on the Vita. I think it's
Oh,
just Vita. Yeah. So I don't even know
okay.
because you don't
Yeah.
have a Vita, right?
Not yet.
Yeah. So you wouldn't be able to play it. But it was a
Yeah.
PlayStation Plus game from last month.
Okay.
That's how I had it. Yeah.
Okay.
But again, that's a weird, silly, dark game.
Okay.
I was also playing with the Wii U a bit last weekend. I checked out the Mario Kart update 200cc.
Okay.
So that game, that speed is now ridiculous. It's crazy.
So it's F-Zero now, right?
Yeah, it's real crazy. Like I consider myself pretty decent, or decent enough at Mario Kart. I can usually beat most of my friends I'm playing with. I'm drifting like every turn. Right? I'm good enough as that I consider. I'm not, I wouldn't play online
You're
because those
not
people are
MLG?
insane. No.
Okay.
But like I was having a hard time staying on the track in 200cc. That it is fast now. But that's exciting. That's cool. And I also played some Pushmo World on the Wii U.
Okay.
Have you played any Pushmo?
Yeah, I didn't really like the first Pushmo.
Oh, I like Pushmo.
I didn't really like it.
Well, there's three Pushmo. I guess they just announced another one. But there's Pushmo, Crashmo, and Pushmo World. I played very little of Crashmo. I don't even remember how the mechanics work.
Okay.
But I played Pushmo on the 3DS, and now Pushmo World is just Pushmo again.
Okay.
It's exactly Pushmo. It's the exact same thing. So if you like Pushmo, you like Pushmo World.
Cool.
There's nothing else there. The main game I've been playing like real heavy this week was VLR. Unfortunately, like again, I'm not going to talk much about it. It's such a story heavy game, but I finally got to one of the endings because there's like 18 in this game, and if people who know 999 or know VLR, when you get to an ending, that's when like the real game begins because you start going like jumping between different time points to replay and get different outcomes. And I'm just like super hooked. And the fact that you can jump to very specific moments makes it such a great improvement over 999. So yeah, I was playing VLR up until we started podcasting. I'm playing it on the train. I'm playing a bit at work. I'm playing like anytime I can because that's again with my trip coming up. It's like deciding which console to bring. There's no way. Like I don't want to, if I don't take my Vita, to have only played through half of VLR and then come back to this like story heavy game.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to like get that done. The one downside I'll say with having 18 endings is one of the differences between 999, which you didn't play 999, correct?
I was actually going to ask because I've asked Nathan this question before, and now that you're playing this, I can ask you: do I need to play 999 to enjoy VLR?
You don't, but I'd probably slap you if you didn't.
Okay, that's almost the answer he gave. He said, no, you don't need to, but you will get way more out of it if you do.
Exactly. You will get so much more out of it because
Okay.
there's characters that return that they're not talking about the past, and it's like, what are you doing? You were in the first one. How are you? Why are you here again? And it's like, it's crazy. So definitely 9 first. People in the chat are asking VLR. Yes, Virtua's Last Reward, Zero Escape 2, Virtua's Last Reward. But one of the things I was saying, the one downside is because unlike a 999 where you would get all the way to a full ending and then you would restart at the beginning and you would go all the way to another full ending, this game kind of makes you go about 75% of the way through the flowchart before it was saying, oh, stop, you don't have enough info yet. You need to do a different path so that you gain info so you can go down this path. So you're kind of jumping around a lot more frequently, and which is fine. It's really cool to be like learning bits and pieces. It's almost like putting like a puzzle together slowly. But the downside is that I'll jump to a different place that like, oh, I got enough info for that one. I can jump there. And I've kind of forgotten like, okay, wait, what story stuff was even happening in this thread? Because each story thread, even though it's kind of the same scenario, like significantly different stuff happens. Like really significant. I was shocked. So it's like, wait, is this the one where we were able to duplicate the thing, or is this the one where they don't even know that there's a thing available? And it will tell you a little bit if you follow the flow chart up, but I'm just not digging into it that deep. I'm just, as soon as I see like, oh man, I can further go down that path, I am jumping there and going through.
Hmm.
So I guess it's partly on my error, but still, it does get a little confusing, but not enough to really throw you off that much. Uh, anyway, still really enjoying VLR.
Okay,
I'll be
cool.
going back to it immediately upon finishing this podcast today.
Cool.
Um, okay, and yeah, with that, let's move on to the news.
And boy, do we have a lot of it.
Yeah, there's a good chunk. A
Hmm.
lot of them are kind of real short, but yeah, there's a good chunk. Let's get like all the Nintendo stuff out of the way. So Nintendo briefly talked about their plans for their mobile games. As we know, they're going into the mobile space.
Hmm.
And what we do know at the moment is that there will be one mobile game, for smart devices in 2015, and then the rest of them will be coming spring. You know what? I got that wrong. I'm seeing 2017. Hang on. So Nintendo's. Oh no, sorry. They're talking about fiscal years. So it should be, yeah, game due this year, and then five more due by March 2017. I thought it was just 2016, but they're going the full fiscal year into 2017. So I guess that's six on the plate so far that they have.
Hmm.
So I guess one every 2 months or so. But yeah, one near the end of the year. We don't know anything about the games, but that's just their current. That's their current plan.
Well,
Uh,
they're hooking up with DNA.
we knew that. We knew
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Um, Continuing with Nintendo, they've started talking a bit about E3. However, they've said they're not, at least this year at E3. That's what we're talking about.
Hmm.
No announcements regarding their smartphone games,
Okay.
and there will be no NX announcement at E3, which is a bummer. NX being the code name for their next platform.
It'd be kind of weird if they went to CES or like more mobile focused like tech conventions for that sort of stuff. Like if they
That'd be
just
very
it'd be really weird, right?
well. I interpreted this more as like we'll talk about it more at next E3.
Mm.
Like it's too
Or
far out.
Nintendo Direct.
Well,
Like
I guess a Nintendo Direct. Yeah, that's true. They could just do it like whenever. But I
yeah.
would. It's still weird to get like a console announcement not at E3.
Hmm.
Besides like leaks and stuff, but just a couple choice quotes. This was all let down in a an investors meeting. Nintendo was saying we do not plan on talking specifics about
Reggie,
NX until
this year we want to make
2016.
Nintendo.
Presently, we cannot talk about the time period when it will go on sale or what it's like,
Hmm.
because we are calling it a new concept. We are not thinking of this as a simple replacement for the 3DS or the Wii U. Incidentally, we're getting various questions for this year's E3, like, won't there be an NX announcement? Will there be a presentation on smart devices? And to that, they said no, not at this year's E3.
Hmm.
So yeah, a bit of a bummer. I wanted to hear more about the NX, but we'll hear about it eventually, I
Yep.
guess. And I thought there was one. Oh yeah,
There
so
is.
here's something super weird. Nintendo basically laid out their plans
Hmm.
for. Stop playing the video. Okay, June 16th, 18th. So actually, on the 14th, pre E3, Nintendo World Championship 2015. Did you
Yep.
watch this ad?
No,
This
not yet.
thing.
I heard about it on Twitter. I was at work when it was announced.
Okay, so basically, let me paint you a word picture of what this little video is.
Okay.
They're asking Reggie, I guess like the board of directors are like, what should we do for E3 this year? And he thinks back to what looks like old video footage, and he's like, we're bringing back the Nintendo World Championship, which I guess was a game show they did like 25 years ago. He said 25, and I'm assuming it's like an anniversary thing.
Hmm.
So he's like, it'll be the first time we've done it since in 25 years. And they're like, he says like we'll have prizes, something like that. And I want there gonna be prizes I'm gonna want. But they're like, but you can't compete. You're Oh no, that's what he says. He says, I'm gonna even compete. And they're like, but you can't. You work here. And he's like, not anymore. Now the new CEO is, I forgot the kid's name, but he pulls some kid from off camera in. Some like derpy looking dude, and he's the new CEO of Nintendo. And then Reggie's in the gym working out, but he's doing like silly workouts, like playing like Wii Fit
Oh
or
God.
playing like track and field.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
or staring at a TV screen of old Donkey Kong Country while just eating a ton of bananas, or being in Little Mac's like training pink like jumper and like punching in the air and stuff, and just weird stuff like that. Um, and then what happens at the end? What's the big zinger? He's like, he wants to come back to get his C. Oh yeah, okay. People are giving me all the things in the chat. He's lifting game cubes, like bicep curling game cubes. He's playing the Virtual Boy and saying like, "Man, these games are great," while like knocking shit off the table. Um, People are saying Tanner. Is that the kid's name?
Must
Anyway,
be.
the ending. He's like, "You know what? I want my job back." And the kid's like, "What am I supposed to do?" And he's like, "I don't know. Do you have any skills?" And the kid's like, "I can speak Japanese." And then it cuts to Reggie walking past Bill Trinan saying, "Hey, Bill, you're fired." Which that was pretty funny. But anyway, if people want to watch this weird video, it's on YouTube. You can also just go to e3.nintendo.com. But they mentioned on the 16th they're going to have their digital event, which will be their Nintendo Direct. Obviously, obviously they'll have their Treehouse Live going through the whole 3 days.
Yep.
And they also mentioned that Mario Maker is going to be in Best Buys like immediately after, and that's on that site as well. But who cares about that?
Mm.
So it seems almost identical to what they've done before, except for this Nintendo Championship thing, which could be interesting. I'm hoping it'll be on Twitch. It's got to be on Twitch. The Treehouse thing's on Twitch. It's got to be on Twitch. Everything's streamed. So I guess we'll see what that's all about. I'll be in Europe though, so I won't see what that's all about. Or any of this. I'll be coming back the day after E3 finishes.
I know John wants to participate.
Oh, does he? Yeah?
Yeah, he was saying like, I wonder if they'll accept Canadians and stuff like that. I think he could do pretty good. That guy plays a lot of Nintendo games.
Yeah, that's true. He plays a lot of Nintendo games. That's true. So anyway, yes, those are Nintendo's plans for E3.
Yep.
What else do we have on the list? So we mentioned last week that they were going to announce what the next Assassin's Creed is in a few days from last week's recording.
Yep.
They did, and it is called Syndicate,
Yes.
which I guess that's not the name it originally like leaked as. What was it? What was it originally called? I don't even remember. It had a different name when it was getting leaked a bunch, but it's the Victorian era one. You're playing as a brother-sister duo, Jacob and Evie. So hey, girl assassin, that's interesting.
Yep.
That's probably going to be extremely hard for them to model, right? And animate. Wasn't that the joke?
Like,
Wasn't that the thing from Unity? Is like
no, that was the
female,
thing.
no female assassins because it would just take way too much resources to animate a female.
Yeah, I mean, that was the thing. I was trying to remember what their justification, besides misogyny, was for it.
Right. Yeah.
I think they meant it would
in
be
the
hard
chat,
to create.
Victory. That was the name of the Assassin's Creed title.
I think what their thing from before was it would be too hard now to model a female, like, or any other character because they already had the assets, basically. But, like, that's...
Regardless, it was bullshit.
It's a... Yeah, oh, of course.
So now there's a female assassin with, like, a leading role, I guess. Although in the trailer, it's just the dude, obviously. Like, I watched their announcement trailer. They don't even mention the girl.
Yeah.
So...
That's a marketing decision, though.
Which sucks.
Yeah, it's weird because I remember somebody saying they've done studies on it and people buy a game more often or something if it's like the white male protagonist. I don't know who.
I'm sure that's the fact because that's the thing with
get
everything.
how that.
But it's like. Anyway, like whatever.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Syndicate. PS4, Xbox One on October 20th. With a PC release later in the fall.
Right.
Victorian era London.
Could be cool, actually.
I looked at the video, and it looks exactly like Assassin's Creed. So
Go figure.
kind of just like whatever.
Yeah.
I'll play it at some point because I play Assassin's Creed games. I still have to go through Unity at some point. Um, I hope they don't announce another Assassin's Creed game and get two in a year again because last year was crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Apparently, there's a 1 terabyte Xbox coming.
Cool.
Too bad John's not here. He's always complaining about the space on his Xbox
Not
One.
anymore. He got a hard drive for it.
Oh, okay.
Has he
Man.
not mentioned that?
No,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I guess I don't talk
Now
to
he
him
can
enough.
play all the Ori, which he won't.
He won't. No, he hates Ori now.
Yeah.
Okay, here's probably the biggest news of the week. Again, this would have been good having John here. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
Yeah.
Did you see the website that was up a few days before this, Sword or Whip?
Yes,
It was just
I voted.
swordorwhip.com. What'd you vote for?
Whip.
Okay. I don't think I voted. I think I went to it on my phone and I was like, what is this? Oh, is this a Castlevania thing? And then I was just like, moving on.
Yeah.
Not that I don't like Castlevania. I just like I don't have time to deal with this right at the moment. But yeah, Bloodstained. So Koji Igarashi, the original creator of Castlevania, has started a Kickstarter for a game called Bloodstained, which is basically Symphony of the Night. Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Right.
They're asking for 500,000. I don't know if they're going to get there. Oh wait, they're at $2 million right now.
Yeah,
So-
they made their goal within 4 hours, if I remember them saying.
Right. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
real fast. Didn't they also kind of like gamify like the marketing? Like there's these like achievements and it's something like, hey, if you like also follow us on Twitter, we'll unlock this other stuff too. Or if you retweet us enough times, then this achievement will happen or something like that. Like I'm looking at all these, what do they got? Tumblr followers, overall vines. Oh man, they're not even at 50. A vine of what? What are you gonna vine? Are you gonna vine yourself being excited for this Kickstarter?
So, I'm gonna tell you my worst secret. I can't keep up with the kids anymore. I don't know I don't know how to use Vine or what it's for.
Okay, Vine is a video.
It's like a 6-second loop or something.
Yeah, like I believe you hold your thumb down, and it'll record, and you can lift it up and hold it down, and once it's done like 6 seconds or whatever it is, it puts it all together, and there's your video.
What's the point
What are
of
you
it,
gonna?
though?
I don't know. Same thing as like Snapchat. Here's a clip of something.
I don't get that either. Okay, I'm out of touch. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh man. So yeah. Overall fan art. They already have 100 people who have given fan art of this game that doesn't exist yet.
How is that even possible?
That's what I'm wondering. Is like what overall comics? They actually expect people to make comics for this game that doesn't exist yet.
Does Rule 34 stuff count?
That is not an achievement.
That would be hilarious.
Artwork is one of them, but yet they have not even hit the 5 paintings mark.
Oh, man.
Okay. Oh, here's one. Photography. They're looking for 25 selfies at castles. What?
I don't...
5 Miriam cosplays. I guess that's a new character.
What does she look like? Like...
I don't know. Maybe I haven't watched the video, but
I
they do
haven't
have
either.
they do have character art and stuff. So I guess they want people to already make costumes for this.
How hyped are you? How many vines are you going to put out tonight?
Of what? What am I supposed to vine?
I don't know. You tell me. You're the one who's...
Do I vine the video they put up? Do I put my phone in front of my my computer monitor?
I don't know. Your
while it's playing
TDP's...
the trailer?
Your TDP's 8 to 24 demographic representative.
What?
That is such a huge number of people. 8 to 24.
8 to 24. Oh my gosh. I don't even... Well, okay. Okay, so anyway, they've gamified this thing, but what are they currently looking for? If they get to 2 million, because they're just under, they get a boss rush mode.
Cool.
And if they get to 2.25 million, they get a retro level.
Okay. I was going to say, isn't this all kind of like a retro... Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
Anyway, okay, so interesting things they've already gotten. Voice acting by David Hayter.
Nice.
Second playable character. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
local co-op. That's great.
That, yeah.
So they're easily going to hit this. They still have another 28 days to go. Um, wasn't there also something like this is the first? Yeah, they keep also like the press release was saying like this is the first Kickstarter that'll offer physical discs off like right out of the gate. So
Interesting.
this is coming to Xbox One, PlayStation 4. Um, those are the physical versions. So just next gen. I guess it looks kind of more similar to the uh, the DS Castlevanias because it's kind of more less pixelated, more kind of anime art style, whatnot.
Hmm.
But anyways, I'm assuming John probably backed this. Are you super excited? Are you a big Castlevania guy?
Not this era of Castlevania. I don't like anything from Symphony of the Night and onwards as much.
Oh, wow. Okay, I like Symphony of the Night. I didn't back it. I'll probably end up playing it.
I'm not gonna back this, but I'm super glad that this is a thing that exists and people, because I know like I've played a few of the GBA games and stuff, and I had a fun time with them. I like the really old style of Castlevania more, but like I'm glad this is a
Just like
thing that's coming out.
just a straight platforming, not the Metroidvania style.
Yeah, I mean I think it was Super Castlevania 4 where I started to fall off a bit, but I'm
I
super
think
excited
actually,
for people.
I'm pretty sure the wording in this Kickstarter, yeah. So they don't call it Metroidvania for obvious reasons.
No, Igavania.
Igavania or Igavania.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's just weird. That's weird. I mean, Metroidvania is already a bad name, but I,
Oh, and
I
also, you know that they asked John to advertise it, right?
that's what I heard. I did he like what is he
Yeah.
doing?
They did a partnership deal with people who would accept it or whatever, YouTubers and streamers and stuff. And his thing is he started an LP of the old, I think Aria of Sorrow is the one he started with. He's doing an LP of
Aria, yeah, that's what he was
Aria
tweeting.
of
Yeah.
Sorrow, but yeah, so he is excited. Like I
Well,
think we
yep.
could say.
I'm sure he is. Yeah. I'm interested. Just kind of interesting timing. We talked about ukulele last week.
Yeah.
Um, so two like major high profile Kickstarters within like a week of each other. Um, from yeah, I guess there's like this. It's kind of similar to Mighty Number Nine. You just kind of get like the main
Hmm.
guy or the main group of people from those past games bring something out new. Are you excited for ukulele at
No.
all?
No, I
You're
don't
not a
like
Banjo Kazooie guy?
I didn't like them at all. So
Okay. Okay. Um, okay. Well, then I ask you this: if you had like an old school team or whatever specific developer
the answer
make
is
a
Hideo
Kickstarter
Kojima because
to
of
make
what
what? Make
happened.
a Kickstarter of what? Like just the next Metal Gear Solid game?
His new IP. I actually want to
Just
see.
anything?
Actually want to see the next thing he comes up with after being kind of tied to Metal Gear for so long with Konami and all that stuff. I kind of want to see him break free completely and just like we're going back to when I was a crazy piece of shit on the NES. Let's go and just doing something out there. Like I want to see him do new stuff.
I want the successor to Burnout Paradise. I will
Oh,
kickstart that.
that
I'd
would be
kickstart
good.
that so hard.
That would be good.
Ah, okay. Anyway, people can back that if they're wanting. Here's another quick thing. I don't even know what this got announced on, but I saw the Japanese video. There's a new Pushmo. Heard the name Stretch Mo going around,
Okay.
which the gameplay looked really similar. When you pull the block out, it gets longer, which I guess is a stretch. But
Hmm.
anyway, new Pushmo. That's always cool.
Yeah.
Um, Other interesting kind of two-part news: Gears of War Remastered leaked.
Hmm.
So this is which I'm so tired of remasters. I'm so tired of remasters.
Sure.
Um, this is a remastered version of the first Gears of War, the Gears of War I don't like.
Really,
Um,
it's the one I liked, but it didn't age well. I
no,
felt.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Okay.
In fact, I played it, was like, nope, this is not for me. Then randomly, a copy of Gears of War 2 showed up at my place to review, and it wasn't supposed to. And I was like, well, guess I'll play it. Really liked Gears of War 2 a
Okay.
ton.
Yeah.
That I went back and was like, I'll just finish through this. And since then, I've played all the Gears of War. I do like Gears of War, just not the first one
I
really.
really don't like how the first one ends. It's so anticlimactic.
I don't like how the entire thing is gray. I
Yeah,
think it's an ugly game. Um,
yeah.
but anyway, so Gears of War remastered leaked. People there was a like a pretty widespread beta going around, I believe, and the thing was a lot of people were leaking videos of it. They weren't supposed to. It wasn't a public beta. It was a closed beta, and they were leaking plenty of videos of it up to the point that Microsoft started banning those accounts. And as we've now learned, they have the power to do. They can brick your console.
Yes.
So a lot of these people who were leaking the footage now have bricked Xbox Ones, and that just kind of added to the fact we did not know Microsoft had that ability to target a specific Xbox online and brick it. I guess are they entirely bricking it? Because I was reading words stating bricked, and I was also reading just making it only usable offline, like getting rid of the online feature.
That seems way more likely. Disabled Xbox Live accounts.
Yeah, because I'm seeing disabled their accounts. I'm seeing permanently disabled their Xbox Live accounts, suspended accounts, temporarily blocked all of the Xbox One privileges.
But maybe because of doing that, the process of it, they do something which fucks up like the OS or something.
Well, because I remember people were complaining like, oh, well, now that I can't go online, I can't use my Xbox One, and Microsoft had to issue a statement saying that's not true. You can use your Xbox One offline. It still functions. But I've also been hearing, Microsoft punishes Gears leakers by temporarily bricking Xbox Ones.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much if they're just being a little hyperbolic with the term bricked or what exactly. But anyway, that's interesting that they can do that. I guess that makes sense. Like if you're going to leak something you shouldn't be allowed to function or continue being able to do so. And if this does that, then this does that.
NDAs are they're pretty intense, so.
No, for sure. And like assuming these people in the betas, they clicked I agree to some kind of terms of service. So it's like they have themselves to blame.
Yep. I'm sure it states right in there too, the clause of like doing it. Basically, this would be suspended, blah, blah, blah. Microsoft's not responsible for any funds missing or whatever because of this. Like, if you have to buy a new Xbox, like, I'm sure all the legal jargon's in there.
Yeah. Just kind of interesting to know that Microsoft has that ability with the Xbox One.
Yeah.
We got some Ratchet and Clank news. We got a release date on the movie. April 29th, 2016 in America. And more interestingly, because I kind of don't care about the movie, I'll probably end up seeing it because it's a video game movie.
Yeah.
They are rebooting the original Ratchet and Clank for PS4 spring 2016. So, just in time for the movie.
Cool.
I guess that makes sense. Go see the movie, play the new game.
Yeah.
As someone who did not play much Ratchet and Clank at all, that's cool.
I'm with you.
Look into this one.
Yeah, so I'm with you on that.
That's a good way to jump in. In fact, the only Ratchet and Clank I've played is a few hours of a crack in time.
Me too.
On the PS3.
Yeah.
Which
with
I enjoyed.
3 other people. Like, it was just a party game that we did for a bit.
Did that have co-op?
I think that was the 4-player co-op one, right? Or was that the other one?
That was the one following
after
it. They did a 4-player one after it.
That's the one I played then. It was good.
Yeah, Crack in Time was a single-player game. Which I enjoyed the little bit I did play. And actually, here's a quick one. Life is Strange 3 comes out in 5 days.
Yes.
Boom, get hype.
Yes.
So excited. Can't wait. The ending from Life is Strange 2. Yeah. Oh, so good. Okay. Last bit of news. Konami. They're not in a great spot. You just saw this Igarashi stuff. He's on his own. We just talked about Metal Gear Solid guy, Hideo Kojima, he's off.
Yeah.
Silent Hills canceled.
Yeah.
What's Konami doing? What games do they
Slot
have?
machines.
Konami Slot machine. They have slot machines in Japan.
Yeah.
They have health clubs in Japan. Oh, hey, when you go to Japan, you should totally get me a shirt from one of their health clubs because I wanted to get one and I forgot.
If I find one, like I'll look them up. But yeah.
Um, they have now said the CEO came out and said we will pursue mobile games aggressively. So their new plan
Yeah.
is full on going for the mobile market with their properties, which they've already been doing some mobile games for sure, some free to play stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and I guess now they're just seeming like that's the place to be, and that's where they're going. So Konami is becoming a mobile publisher.
Yeah.
Um,
Basically,
I
it's
guess
for all their
pretty
old
quickly.
IPs. A cheap
Yeah,
way to
like
put them on something and still make revenue from them.
right,
Yeah.
right, and with and they also owned Hudson, so they can use all those IPs as well.
Yep.
Bomberman.
Yep.
But I'm thinking like after this Metal Gear game, maybe they'll keep putting out soccer games if they're getting any kind of profit for them, or just say, "Not EA can have that." Um, and we're just going to focus entirely. But they've said we're going to pursue mobile games aggressively. Kind
Yeah.
of a bummer. Konami's put out some games I've been excited about, but that company just seems to be changing rapidly,
Yeah.
and that happens.
Yep.
So
Oh, that reminds me of another thing that happened. This, do you know Super Bunny Hop Games or whatever on
yeah,
YouTube?
nope,
He
nope.
put out a Konami versus Kojima video that, like, he got some anonymous sources from Konami talking about, like, the situation and leaking some inside details and all that sort of stuff. He doesn't confirm or not. Konami actually had a DMCA pull that video off the internet.
Oh, I did. I read a like an article headline about this, but it just said like a YouTube video. It didn't say what specifically. And YouTube said no, right?
Yeah, so that's the update to that, is that they're like, nah, and they put it back up and send Konami a letter basically saying maybe you should review what, like, fair use is and stuff. If you have any questions, contact us.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting for sure, for sure. I guess good for YouTube not just being like,
Yeah.
I don't know, we'll just take it down because often when from what I understand about like, and even just like with copyright stuff, if your videos get flagged for copyright and are not taken down, it's a lengthy process you have to go through to prove you own stuff. I think I've even encountered that before, and it was like you need to prove. I think it was something top-down perspective related,
Sure.
and it was early on when on our YouTube channel when I was uploading just the audio of the podcast when we weren't doing them live, so it still had like the theme song there, and I think it got taken down and was like you need to prove you have that music, and I was like how do I do that? I mean, like I
Yeah.
have the audio file, but
Hmm.
what? I'm not like it's like it gets so convoluted that it's just like, okay, I don't have the brain capacity to deal with this. I'll just move on. I won't put my video up. Sorry.
Yeah.
Um, but good to see it kind of YouTube fighting the other way around. Sure.
It's really cool. I like it.
All right, let's go on to questions. How can people send in questions, Paul?
You can email topdownperspective@gmail.com. You can reach us on Twitter at TDP Podcast or on Facebook at facebook.com/topdownperspective.
That is entirely correct. This first question comes in from Joey. He says, "Hey guys, longtime listener, first time caller here.
You're
Just
not
a few
calling.
questions." That's true. He's a liar.
Fucking
Yes.
liar. Next.
Li-
Next
This
is by
question
Andy.
comes in- Andy comes right in. No. Joey says, "Just a few questions I'm curious about."
Yeah.
First one: is there any video game where you first heard the music and played the game afterwards because you liked the music that much? That's what happened for him with Jet Set Radio, and he thanks John because he first heard the music in John's videos.
No.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Because I don't seek out soundtracks for video games I don't have a connection with. So, no.
I'm just trying to think if anyone's like played me some music from a game before. I was like, wow, this music's really great. I need to try out the game. And it's usually not. I mean, there's been games where I've heard they were good and I haven't played them yet, and I heard they really liked the soundtrack on them too. Like I remember Hotline Miami was like that, but it wasn't specific. Like I heard the music, I need to now play the game. I don't think I've ever. I don't think I've ever done that.
Yeah, I haven't either, honestly.
His second one is for John.
Should we answer it
So
for John?
yeah, of course. I was listening back to the archives of this one other podcast I listened to, the F Plus, and I noticed that you were a guest in one of the episodes, a
Oh,
particular weird one at that. I'm genuinely curious how you got involved with that.
I think I actually know the answer to this. He's friends with one of the dudes.
Oh wait, I think I actually know the answer to this. And genies? I guess we'll let the listeners decide what they think is the true story.
Right.
Third question's for me. Sean, how did you get started reviewing video games for Comic Book Bin? I came across their website and I saw they were interested in more reviewers, so I sent an email. And they were like, okay, show us some of your work. So I sent them a few reviews I had done, just on like a personal blog kind of. And they
Yeah,
were like, cool, sounds good.
I
Pretty easy.
remember that blog actually.
Yeah.
That's old school, man. Yeah.
Yeah, how old is that? That's got to be 5 years old at least.
Yeah, because that's when I
Um,
started mine around the same time.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's a long time ago. Number four. Since I know you guys are relatively well traveled, what would you say is the most interesting place you've been to? Been to is. Thanks for the podcast, guys. You're always a joy to listen to. Well, we talked a lot about Japan. Japan's huge for me. I quite enjoyed that.
Sure.
I've also been to Australia, which was a blast.
Sure. I
And I
really
have
like
done some traveling in Europe. I've traveled a lot, so
I really like Yellowknife because that's like a really small city, but it's like one of the bigger cities in the north here.
up north, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
I've never really gone that. I've never gone that north. I've never been to the territories of Canada.
I really like it because the Great Slave Lakes, when they freeze over, they turn into roadways. Like they put roadways on the lake because the ice gets
That's cool.
thick.
That's interesting.
So there's just like I visited in fall, so it wasn't frozen yet, and you would just see these like dirt roads that like just went into the lake.
Oh yeah, right. Okay.
That's
Cool.
kind of cool. Northern Lights up there, really easy to see, really nice. A lot of snow dogs, like the huskies and the dogs that pull sled dogs everywhere.
Okay.
Pretty
Okay.
neat.
Did you see the Northern Lights?
Yeah,
Cool. I've never seen those, and I want to see those.
they're cool.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Why don't you take the next one?
All right. Next comes from Andy. Over the past weekend, a trial for Toho 15 was released at, oh god, Redise? Taisei? Holy shit, that's a lot
Something
of
like
eyes.
that.
That's a lot of eyes.
That's a lot of eyes.
And introduced an interesting new mechanic to the series. Aside from making the stages a lot more difficult than previous iterations, God help us all when a bullet hell is made even harder, a new mode was added called Point Device Mode, where there are no lives. Whoa, okay. Instead, throughout the stages, there are chapters that serve as a checkpoint system, so that when you die, you start back at the exact point where you left off at the checkpoint. On one hand, it seems like you'll have an infinite amount of retries to 1cc modes now. On the other hand, you now have to be aware of your resources at these checkpoints, which entails bombs, grays, positioning, enemies, yourself, etc. I thought it was an interesting idea to bring to the bullet hell genre, and I'm uncertain if any other series has done such a thing. Do you think this is a neat idea? And could you see other shmup series adopting the idea? I'm not huge into shmups, honestly. So I don't know.
I think this idea is like everywhere, like a checkpoint system, specifically where you don't have like the factor is like you don't have lives. It's like well then you always have checkpoint systems. Like I'm trying to think of anything. Strider, when you die, you go back to the checkpoint. Ori, when you die, you go back to the latest checkpoint. You know, anything that's kind of not like platform based, where you start the whole level over again or whatever. And those also do have lives before they like make you start. Even if you got to a check, like I'm thinking Mario, when you get to a checkpoint, but if you like lose all your lives, you have to start that level over. But most games, yeah, when you die, you go back to the latest checkpoint, and you don't have like a numbered life. It just you keep progressing forward.
Yeah, we were saying shmup checkpoint, though. Like I said, I don't play a lot of shmups, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't play a lot of shmups either. I guess it makes it easier because you're kind of you're never really starting back at state at the very beginning of the stage. You're always if you can get to that checkpoint, you'll start from there from now on, which is good. But yeah, I don't play enough shmups either.
Can I suggest a shmup to you and to the listeners?
Okay.
Shoot one up.
Okay. Okay. Why? This is a
Because
joke.
no, it's kind of cool
Okay.
actually. So you have multiple lives, but each life is a ship that you can control all at the same time on the screen. And it
Okay.
has a mechanic where you either like contract all the ships into one tight knit ball or like expand them to take up more of the screen. So if you expand them, the risk is greater that you're going to get them just like, or it's
They're
less
gonna hit
risk.
something. Yeah.
It's less risk because you'll lose one or two from shots or whatever, but if you ball them all up, you'll do more damage in one area, but you could lose all your lives with one big blast or something.
As opposed to like yeah, or having a bigger range shot if everyone's spread out. Okay, that's interesting. Sure.
It's cool. Yeah.
Shoot one up. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, James writes, recently some of my friends and I went through Ace Attorney Investigations 2. Since it wasn't released officially in the West, we went through fan translations. My friends mostly went through the playable translation available for download, but I went through a non-playable translation hosted by someone named Do Wolf on YouTube. And from my understanding of the differences between them, Do Wolf. I prefer the Do Wolf translation. Have you guys ever ran into something with more than one translation? If so, which translation did you prefer? I'm more excited. What is Ace Attorney Investigations 2?
I think you're going to be Googling tonight.
I'm Googling that right now. What are you talking about?
All right, fair enough. Um, I I don't play a lot of games that need translating, honestly.
Yeah.
I
No, I
don't
don't
I've
think
never
so.
been into the import scene very much. So I like the translations that happen from the company hiring translators and putting it in their game officially. I guess is my answer.
Yeah, we talked about this. We got a similar kind of question last week of, do you ever import games? Um, and no, if it's a game I like that much, I, a lot of the time the game will already come to North America and I'll just wait. And there's a few times where I have picked up games in Japanese, but I try to make sure they're not story heavy or text heavy. Like I'll get puzzle games or fighters or something like that.
Sure.
Or then there's just the crazy time where I did get that Sega Saturn and got just a ton of dating sims that are just unplayable over here. But I
But
have a lot
one
of those
day
now,
I
and that's
will be
funny.
there and I will translate for you.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Ace Attorney Investigations 2 is the sixth game and a sequel to the Miles Edgeworth. Man, I cannot talk right now. Miles Edgeworth game. We didn't get it, I guess. It came out 4 years ago. Why don't we have that game here?
People are kind of calling you out. They're like, "What? If you're a fan of Phoenix Wright, you should be playing these."
To be fair, I've played the first Phoenix Wright game and the crossover with Professor Layton. I
Oh,
want to play more of them for sure.
okay.
I just have not played a lot of Phoenix Wright games. But I want to. Believe me, I want to.
Cool.
All right, you got the next one?
Yep. Matthew writes in, I realize you might not have spent much with this system, but my dad had one when I was a kid. My question, favorite Atari 2600 game? His are Space Invaders and bowling.
I liked Pitfall a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never played these on an Atari 2600. They all would have been ports or something. But yeah, I'm just looking. Breakout, man, I love Breakout. I
Breakout's
love
great.
Breakout I like Breakout so much. I'm just kind of going through a list of Atari 2600 games.
Mm. There was quite
I
a bit
mean,
of games and a
everyone
lot of
likes
garbage.
Pac-Man. There's a Mario Bros showed up on there. I mean, it's probably Breakout. I love Breakout.
Yeah. Breakout
Uh,
is really, really good. I really like Centipede. Centipede was
Okay.
great.
I think those are probably my games. Oh wait, okay, one's by third parties. Here we go. Now there's more games.
Haunted
There is
House.
there is both a bachelor party game and a bachelorette party game.
Okay. Cool.
I don't know what that is. Burger Time. Chuck Norris Super Kicks. I don't know what any of these are. I have not played a lot of 2600 games.
Fair enough.
Shane writes, so with Bloodstained being announced and at least my high hopes of a new Metroid at E3, what are your guys' favorite Metroidvania games?
Axiom Verge, apparently, and Ori.
Shadow Complex?
Shadow Complex is real good.
Dude, Shadow Complex.
Yeah.
If I had to pick a few, Shadow Complex is definitely up there. Symphony of the Night, definitely up there. I really enjoyed Ori. Can't forget Dust and Elysian Tale.
Yep. I think that's one tier lower, though. Like, I think Ori is much better. I really like Ori.
But like the combat in Dust is so much better than Ori because Ori is just like
Yeah.
your button mashing X and you're just kind of
That platform is
stuff.
so good, though. It's
But
so good.
Dust and Elysian Tale, you're pulling off crazy combos and like infusing that fairy thing with different elements and making like hurricane attacks. I really like Dust and Elysian Tale.
Yeah, it's good. That's it for me.
Okay, Michael. Yep, Michael writes in. What was the most unexpected way you learned about a video game's existence? For him, it was when he was at a local barber, and the person cutting his hair told him about Super Mario Galaxy, which he hadn't heard about until then. What
Yeah.
a weird idea. Okay, unexpected ways you've learned about video games. That's kind of hard to do when you have a video game podcast and Twitter. Like,
Yeah.
okay, we're like, all I can really think of is maybe old games, like when people write in about games, like that investigations too. I didn't know about that, but that's not necessarily weird. Like, I'm trying to think, when do I get like surprised things exist? And yeah, Twitter just makes that really hard. I mean, maybe in the past when I was at like a pawn shop and I just found this weird game.
Yeah, like random buys would be the most random way I have
Yeah,
found a game.
just kind of coming across something that's old enough that it's not in the current zeitgeist.
Mm-hmm. It's really hard.
That's about
when
it. Yeah,
weekly,
it's hard.
it's kind of your job almost. No.
Yeah. Like I check Kotaku. Like I'm on Twitter every day. I check Kotaku like at least once every 2 days. So
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Theodore writes in, how often do you guys look at pre-release information for games? Do you tend to avoid information if it's a game you're looking forward to in order to keep up the surprise, or do you enjoy looking at it to build anticipation for when you're finally able to play it? Personally, for me, it depends on the game and what kind of information. So a heavily story-driven game like an RPG, I enjoy reading mechanics information and such, but avoid plot spoilers like the plague. I try to learn as little as possible, except for what I need to know about a game to make me buy it. So, like, when people were like, Ori is a Metroidvania game, done. That's enough for me. Because I need to form my own opinion.
yeah, I never really look into it, and this goes hand in hand with like how many trailers I'll watch and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Is I'll try and learn about as much as I can, just the tip of the iceberg. Like I know it exists.
Yes.
Maybe kind of what it is.
And when it's coming out.
So for like Assassin's Creed, what's the new one? Syndicate.
Syndicate.
I've watched that trailer. I don't plan to follow any of the rest of it. There's also the fact that Ubisoft puts out 1,000,000 trailers.
Yeah.
And I don't need to see all that. But I watched the first one. I'm good. I know it exists. I'll probably end up playing it. I try and play like as much as I can. So if something, and that again, Twitter helps a lot. If something pops up there where people keep saying good things about something,
Yeah.
that's all I really need. It's like, oh, this is something I need to check out. Cool. I'll make a mental note to come across a copy of it or download it or whatever I need to do. But yeah, it's really more just kind of dipping my toe into as much as I can so that I know its existence, and then I just try and play it. There's no need to,
Yeah.
because I know if I'm going to play it, I don't need to do a bunch of research on it. I know I'm going to play it. I can move on.
Yeah, I mean, using the example of Assassin's Creed, and I haven't even seen the trailer. It's enough to know it's like the era that it's set in to know if I want to try it or not. And I would actually like to see more of that game played. So,
Okay, Arthur writes in with 2 questions. The first, are you going to participate in the Nintendo World Championship? I'm not.
no,
I'm not going to E3.
yeah, no.
We'll see if John does. I
That'd be
doubt
cool.
he'll end up. That would be cool. I doubt he'll be able to get in. His second question is, what games do you think will be featured in the Nintendo World Championship? That's a good question. Do you think they do a bunch of old stuff, fix to new stuff? What do you think? If we go off the video, Punch-Out's got to be in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but at the same time, I wouldn't say like Wii Fit's not going to be in there. I would say I don't think that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I could see Punch-Out being in there. I'm trying to think like which like head-to-head games. Like Smash Bros has to be in there, right?
Maybe. I'm trying to think more about the NES Remix games and like just the little section type things that they did for that.
Yeah, they could just do like Mario Bros, like head-to-head.
Mm-hmm. Like
But
a
I think
time
like
attack or something.
no, like the old kind of battle one where they're in like the sewer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I do. Yeah.
Original Mario Bros.
Yeah.
But I think for sure Smash Bros and Mario Kart will be there.
Mario Kart. Yeah. I think Mario Kart for sure. I don't really know about Smash Bros. It depends which way they want to do it. If they want to pit people up against each other in the same game, or if they kind of want to do like a score or time attack or whatnot.
I'd assume they would pit people up again. I haven't seen the original World Championship. I should look that up as just like an academic exercise, just to see what this is about. Duck Hunt, I could see them doing that.
That would actually be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe they just make everyone play like 50 turns of Mario Party 10.
I'm
See
out.
who wins that.
I'm out.
Sit around for like 4 hours.
Ugh, gross.
A good example, Splatoon. Yeah, that's an actual like battling game, and it'll be coming out real soon, right? That'll be 2 weeks after the game comes out, so I could see them throwing that in there.
Yeah.
All right, two
Okay.
more questions.
Michael writes in. Michael for the win, I should say. Favorite old arcade games that you like to play every once in a while? I like that Simpsons arcade game. That's
I
fun.
don't go back to arcade games that often. I guess the biggest one, again, I think we had like this exact question last week, was the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, 1989. I went back to that a lot, and I even bought it on 360 when that came out. I also like Soul Calibur, but again, I haven't gone back to those games in forever. But if I was at an arcade and they had those there, I would definitely play those.
Mm-hmm. I like pinball machines. A lot.
Okay, sure. Pinball machines are always fun. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, for sure. And last one from Brian. This is for me. Since I mentioned it yesterday. Oh, right. He sent me a message on Twitter about the Flash. So how was that Flash episode and Arrow finale? Did you like the tease on Hal Jordan? I haven't seen the Arrow finale yet. I'm one episode behind on Arrow. The Flash one, I didn't think it was that great. I mean, I'm looking forward to next week's one. I don't want to give any spoilers why. But you know, when people are teaming up, that's definitely cool. The tease on Hal Jordan, if he's talking about with the airfield being like shut down, that was a cool touch. I really like kind of the universe DC's doing with their TV shows. That's exciting, much like Marvel is doing with their movies.
Yeah.
Okay, once again, if people want to send in questions for next week as we are wrapping up the show, it is topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, or Facebook, the Facebook group. Just search Top Down Perspective. Paul, what's your game of the week?
Heroes of the Storm. Need to play more Axiom first.
Yeah, I can see that. And mine is easily VLR. I'm real addicted to it right now. I want to say I'm about halfway finished with the game, 13 hours in. Can't wait to get back to that.
Yeah.
Okay, with that, hopefully all three of us will be back next week. But thanks for everyone for tuning in, and we'll talk to you then.
Bye.